Hello, I'm going to be showing you how to do a DIY fang tutorial today. Let's start! Okay guys, these are pretty much what you're going to need for this tutorial. Some aluminum foil, some napkins, scissors, candles, because you're going to need the wax for the mold. It doesn't really matter what kind, as long as it's hard wax. And I'm using the teacup candles for this one. Something to put your acrylic liquid and powder into, clear nails, and a nail brush for, well, the liquid and powder. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is taking the aluminum foil and folding it like so. You want to try to make sure that, well, all the loose sides are going to be outside of your mouth so you don't accidentally cut yourself. Then fold it about that far so whenever you do put it in your mouth to start making your mold, it fits not really comfortably, but I guess comfortable enough. Then you go like this. Now make sure whenever you do it that you get all of the creases that go in between your teeth, especially around your canines or wherever else you want to have the fangs coming off of, because I've done a top and bottom set like this before, and believe it or not, the acrylic nail powder and nail liquid is not as toxic as some people think it is. In fact, it's almost the same exact ingredients as what they use for dental acrylic. So more you know, right? I've already got a mold from last night that I had set up previously, and I did it with the teacup candles, and this is what my mold looks like. Okay, so the second thing that you want to do is take your clear nails, if you can manage to get them open. Derp -de derp -de derp. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is try to find the nail that will fit on your tooth. Some may need bigger ones, some may need smaller ones. If you can't find one that fits it exactly, that's what the scissors are for. Dum, 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 dum. Put the rest back. You're probably going to end up taking them and cutting off this edge right here. So go ahead and do that too. and however long you're going to want them to be, you're going to have to shape the fingernail to go that way. You can have them really long and super pointy, or you can have them look more natural and just have them be short. And I think I'm gonna want to make a shorter fang. So cut there, cut here. So by the time that you shape them, you should have something that looks similar to this. Okay, now that I have my acrylic liquid and the powder set up, I'm going to take my brush and dip it into the liquid, just get a little bit on there, and dab it into the powder, just a little bit, and put it on top of your canine, just so you can build or stick this on there and have something to start building on. Then do the same with the other side. That would be my Chinese water dragon running around the house. Sorry. Give it a second to dry. And should look something like this. Oops. Anyway, then you get more liquid and more powder. And you start covering the tooth, front and back. Yeah, I know there's going to be a small gap that you're going to have to fill in on the back. Make sure you do that. You don't want to have a air pocket. Okay, so this is after doing a few layers onto my fangs, back and front. Don't worry if they don't look completely even, like it doesn't really matter because you're going to be able to take a nail file later and shape them however you want. Right now you want to make sure that they cover all the way up to your gum line. Make sure that there's no gaps. Go all the way around the tooth because it's going to you have to make sure it's going to be form-fitting so it will slide in between your other teeth. And especially on the back, you want to go up through this entire part of the back of your tooth, because if you do it right, it will basically snap onto your teeth. You have to make sure there is a pretty good layer, because whenever you take these off of your mold, you don't want the back to break. It's repairable, but it's a pain in the butt to repair. And the chances are pretty high that if you do end up breaking it, the mold could break or whatever. Okay, so now we are going to try to ease them off of the mold. Try being the key word here. If you have to break the mold, go ahead. It is just wax. There you go. One fang off. Going to have to take some of that mold out of there. Come on. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to do this. There we go. Second fang off. It would be kind of important to know which fang goes on which tooth. Okay, so this one's the left one, this one's the right one. The left one is the one that has to get the wax out of. Not like it's hard to do that or anything. So far, this is what we have. You can go ahead and see if they fit yet. Once you're done clearing the wax out of them, that is, if you have to. I actually found that using the hard, like, table candles, it's easier to make the mold out of, because it doesn't break off as easily as the teacup candle wax. But somebody else thought I should use the teacup candles. Okay, so after you get done shaping them, then what you would have is something that looks like this. And right now, you could go ahead and just put Fix-It-In on them if you wanted to, and they would stay in and, you know, be perfect little fangs, see? But what I like to do is, and I'm not recommending that you do this because if someone accidentally swallows some, it's not going to be my fault. If you feel that you are able to, then take a little bit of the acrylic powder just on the inside and then let it dry for a second, just long enough for it to start getting hard, and then you stick it on top of your tooth really fast. And then you take it off before it actually gets hard, and it will keep the shape of your tooth. And that's how you make it so that they will be form-fitting and like basically clip onto your tooth, and you won't have to have like Fixodent or anything like that. So this has been my DIY tutorial on how to make your own fangs. I hope you guys enjoy it. And this is with a bit of filing